Hi there, it's Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder here with this week's episode of the Tuesday Brewsday. So I thought I'd take the Mardu deck, the Mardu Aura's deck, which I've been obsessed with, and actually morph over into a Naya shell because we get this beautiful creature called the Jukai Naturalist. This is a 2 mana for 2/2 lifelink. Enchantment spells cost 1 less, so it does pair with Runeforge Champion. We have that curve we want, the 2-drop and a 3-drop, and then be able to cast all of our Auras from our hand. The Jukai Naturalist is also really cool because it makes enchantment spells, not just Auras, just enchantment spells cost 1 less. So the Showdown of the Skalds is now reduced. We can actually go 2-drop into Showdown, and that can actually be a very, very potent combo going Jukai Naturalist, Showdown of Skalds, hopefully draw a Runeforge Champion, and then go off with all the runes. So if you haven't seen my Mardu deck, I highly suggest you go check those out and see how it works. I'm going to be a little bit repetitive in this video of showing how it works, but that's just the idea, is to get as much value as possible out of the Runeforge Champion and the Jukai Naturalist combo. We get a lot of neat little things from this enchantment-based set that goes in this deck, which is really, really good because we were missing some of these components, but the overall gist of the deck is going to be very similar to the Mardu shell. The other key component is Kami of Transience. So this is a very powerful card. Oftentimes I'll go 2-drop, they won't answer it, and then you go crazy on turn 3. You have a 6/6 trampler or something like that. If you put out like a Jukai Naturalist, that then can reduce the cost of enchantment. So usually like turn 4, you have an insanely big Kami. But another cool thing about some of the curves I've done with this is go Kami into Jukai Naturalist into Spirited Companion, and then you've drawn a card. You're going to be reducing your enchantments on the next turn. You're going to have a 4/4 Kami, and if they board wipe, you get it back. And it's just a really, really potent card. So this card has trample, which is what you want. Oftentimes it kind of sucks with like a Showdown when you have a super big creature. That's why we're using like the Goldspan Dragon before, because it could actually go at least fly over the top of them. But this Kami can just trample through. So that's very, very potent. And it's going to get +1/+1 for all of the enchantments you cast. So if you're combining this with a Showdown of the Skalds, you can easily go lethal in 1 turn. That's the other card that we do get from this set, is the Spirited Companion. So this one actually reminds me, this deck, unlike the Mardu one was definitely more grindy. This one feels very similar to the Champion version that I ran pre-rotation. Now, we did have a key card in the pre-rotation one called the Storm Herald, which got back all Auras back from the graveyard, attached back onto the battlefield. It was more powerful in that deck because we had all that glitters. We don't really have like a card like that, but we do have a card that we can potentially run the sideboard that's very similar, called Brilliant Restoration, and this returns all artifacts and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. It is 7 mana though, so that's really, really tricky to get up to 7 mana with this deck. However, if we are going up as a very grindy control-based deck, this is an option in our arsenal that we can put in our sideboard, and this can just go lethal with the runes and so it's cool if you have like it's a little bit tougher because you have to have like a Kami out, but then if you cast this and then bring back all the runes, the Kami's going to get huge. But you can also just Rune of Speed, Rune of Might can give +1+, they can give +1 power at least to everything that's coming back out, and then you can attack in for a pretty significantly big like Jukai Naturalist or even Spirited Companion, and then draw the cards off of the runes coming in. So there is that option in Arsenal. I don't know how well it's going to work. However, it is going to be something that we can toy around with. Now, there are a lot of other cards we chose not to go. Before I get into that, let's just go over the deck list really quickly for those of you that aren't familiar with the Mardu version. So we're running the 12 runes, which is going to be Rune of Sustenance, Rune of Speed, and Rune of Might is so much better than the Death Touch one. So the black one was kind of cool. I don't know what design is thinking. Why does this one get +1/+1 in trample, but the Death Touch one did not get +1/+1? I think +1/+1, or in this case +1/+0 from the Rune of Speed is so good on these Auras. Again, I don't know why the Rune of Sustenance didn't get that ability as well. I think maybe they want to focus on these two being played more because white naturally plays Auras. I don't get where they went with design, where they valued like lifelink better than haste. However, the Rune of Might, that +1 is and trample is very significant in this deck, especially compared with the Showdown. So that I think is an upgrade compared to the Mardu deck. It's just green. The green Aura is better. And the Jukai Naturalist, I do think, is pretty much comparable to what was the one we were running, but it was a legendary creature that reduced the cost of things you targeted by 2. So the cool thing about Jukai Naturalist is it actually reduces enchantments. So when you go over in the sideboard, or in the case of like the Showdown of the Skalds, you are still going to reduce those rather than just the things that are targeting. It does make like Sejiri Shelter a little bit worse because you'd still have to pay the 1 to cast a Sejiri Shelter rather than how it was with the, why can't I think of the dude's name, the Mardu or the Orzhov guy that reduces the cost. This one could actually go down to just 1 mana, which was kind of cool. And then there are other things like the Katilda Dawnhart you could reduce by 2, and the disturb cost would be 3. And that actually was relevant in many of the matchups that I've played. Seemingly the Kazuul's Fury being reduced from 3 to just 1. So we'll have to see if these ones, the Shelter and the Fury, are as good as they were in that one. I don't even know if we need like the Fury as much or the Shelter, because we don't really care about protecting, because one of our best threats is just going to come back every time an aura dies. So this has a cool synergy. If you put a rune out or a rune on the Kami and then the Kami dies, you get the Kami back. So that I think is an upgrade as well with this Naya version. And this Naya version just is more consistent and packs a huge punt. The Spirit Companion is great, draws a card, gives you a target. It's really, really good. I think we had a flex spot in the other Mardu where it's like, I could run like Wedding Announcement here, I could run the Treasure guy, I could run, there are plenty of things you could run in that slot. Spirit Companion just is going to take up that slot that we had for the flex. So the other cards I thought about running in this deck, we have, of course, we had like Circle Confinement type cards that are definitely going to end up in some amounts in the sideboard. These are very, very powerful cards versus aggro decks. But this one is a cool card, the Lightpaw's Emperor's Voice. This is whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control. If you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal and put it onto Lightpaws. So basically this becomes Spirited Companion-ish, because you cast an aura, then you'll be able to dig through your library to grab one and put it on Lightpaws. In this case, you cast like a Rune of Might, you get a Rune of Speed on the Lightpaws, and on the same turn you could probably haste in with a 3/2, which might be significant, might not be significant. The cool thing about this too is if you just cast an aura, any old aura, it could be a control aura, and then you can go grab like just a rune and put it into place. So this guy actually looks pretty cool in the sideboard. I think we might build around it in the sideboard to combat the aggro-based decks and just use auras rather than the exile spells. So, we have like minimus containment that can run in this aura slot, where it could just take care of any permanent, and then you can go get a rune off of it. So that's kind of a cool combination with the Lightpaw's Emperor's Voice. Another one I thought about running is the Michiko's Reign of Truth, because this gets +1/+1. You give a creature +1/+1 until turn for each artifact or enchantment, and then when it flips over, it's something that's +1 for each artifact and enchantment. So again, this could be something. I don't know if this is, if you'd like cut red, you could just go like a green white auras deck, and this would definitely be able to go in that shell. But I don't know if it actually is going to ever quite deserve a slot, as I think that we'd have to build the deck a lot differently to, well, maybe not, because the runes, there's 12 runes. There's a lot of things also that are enchantments that this is going to get pumped up from. So possibly this is an option you could run in here. It's kind of redundant though with Katilda, because Katilda is getting X+X for each spirits and or enchantments, so it's working off of that. Then another card I thought about running is the Narika Yamazaki the Poet. Whenever a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, you may cast an enchantment card from your graveyard. That's pretty strong with like showdowns, getting showdowns back from your graveyard, runes back from your graveyard. But unfortunately, it is the only samurai in here. Oh, one other thing with the Kami, which is kind of cool, is a spirit that works with Katilda, so that's kind of neat. But yeah, so you're not going to be getting a ton of value off of the Yamakaze, except Runeforge Champion is a warrior as well. So we do have that combination in here. Other things that I thought about now that we take another look at now, a little more aggressive. Like this one didn't work that well in the Mardu because we were low on the creature count, but Curse of Hospitality seems like a pretty good card. And again, it does work with this aura with like the Lightpaws. So you could cast like a Curse of Hospitality and then go get a rune, and then you get a lot of value off of it. And then you do have ways to gain a little more grindiness out of the Curse of Hospitality. We talked about Brilliant Restoration. Another cool one is the Generous Visitor. This is also a spirit. But I'm wondering if this would be more on the lines of like a white-green deck where you cut the red and then you just rely on like Generous Visitor and the Kami, and then the 8 runes, and then you can run a few other auras, maybe even throw in the Lightpaw in the main, and then you can get like a lot of value off of just casting auras. There's another cantrip aura that came out. It's 3 mana. And then gets +2/+1 if you have the creature. If you control the creature of the greatest power, you draw a card, which could definitely go in there as well for like the 4th aura. But the Runeforge Champion definitely does get a little bit weaker, because oftentimes you do want as many targets as possible for the runes and whatnot. Another cool card that I definitely thought of was Shigeki, Jukai's Visionary. This one just is going to ramp a little bit, but late game you can channel it to return X non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. It's a good grindy card. It's an enchantment. It kind of works on the theme of the deck. Another one's a Weaver of Harmony. Other enchantment creatures get +1/+1, but this is one, again, would be like the cutting of the red and then going into these cards more like the Michiko's Reign of Truth, because it's going to give those enchantments +1/+1 and all the other enchantment creatures +1/+1, and really just is trying to get as much value off of enchantments as possible. This one's also kind of neat though in this deck because it can copy like a Runeforge. It says copy an activated or triggered ability, so even triggered abilities off Showdown, that seems pretty good when Showdown hits 2. Whenever you cast a spell this turn, +1/+1 counter, and on trigger on the stack, you copy that activated ability, and they're getting 2 counters. This dude does seem pretty cool. 2/2 for 2 is also fine. I think that it's definitely worth like a try or worth like experimentation around this particular card, because I think that'd be the best thing in this particular deck to copy as far as the activated or triggered ability. Runeforge Champion would be okay to get like another rune off of it, but there isn't a lot of other activated abilities in this deck. Then again, going back into Light Paws Emperor, there would be another one with a trigger that you could copy and then go get even more stuff. Going into the Naya, we get access to something that Arnie slays the troll. Creature fights a creature you don't control, put 2 counters, gain life. It's an option. I just thought I'd talk about it. Same thing with Rite of Harmony. This one seems interesting because when you're kind of ready to go off, you could cast Rite of Harmony just to draw more cards. It feels more like a win more card, though. I don't know how much cards this is going to be able to draw. This might be like a card that you could run in replace of Showdown of the Skalds if you're just going into white-green, as then you can cast it and then the runes will all draw you cards. And it seems pretty decent at that point to be drawing a lot of cards off of everything you cast. The Fable of the Mirror Breaker seems like a cool card, cool option in this. You create a 2/2 for 3 mana that whenever attacks with a treasure token can be fixed a little bit. Loot, discard up to 2 cards, draw that many cards, and then it turns into like a created token of a copy of another non-legendary creature, gains haste, which could definitely work with like the Runeforge Champions and the Kamis and whatnot. So I thought I'd just at least mention it. This is not a sideboard, by the way. These are just options that I thought I would talk about in this one. I just happened to find 15 of them. Another cool card, definitely, that will, I'm pretty sure this card will make the sideboard, is Invigorating Hot Springs, because it's a way to give your stuff haste, another way to do so. Enters battlefield with 4 counters. Modified creatures have haste, remove a counter. It's pretty cool with even the Kami because you can just give it haste without removing a counter. So late game, you run a Kami out, throw a rune on it, it gets a +1 counter. It is now modified, it has haste, so it doesn't even have to be the Rune of Speed. And last but not least, of course, we got to talk about like Howled Haunting still could easily work in this deck. It actually gets a little bit better with enchantment creatures, gives you more options of hitting off of the Howled Haunting. So it actually seems a lot more potent in this particular deck. And there's a few other like enchantments that could go in this, like the Banishing Light type enchantments that do exist in the format. So I've rambled for like 13 minutes for a deck tech. Super excited for this deck. Let me pull up some stats here. So this deck is not actually lost. So in constructed at the moment. So of course we're gonna break its losing virginity here, I'm sure, now that we're taping. Let me pull it up with this deck. If I can actually figure out how to... Oh, it's not even showing this deck. Naya Auras. Now, it won't let me pull it up. It's saying it does not exist according to Arena. Cool. Let me just show my last... I'll have to show it anyway, but right now I believe it's 7-0. I can't... There it is. I found it. It refreshed. So right now it is on the play, 4 wins. So I'm 6-0 with this deck. So these are all constructed games. 6-0, 4 times on the play, 2 times on the draw. The wins are against a mono red deck, a Mardu deck, a mono black deck. That mono black deck was your traditional mono black deck. This white blue deck was some sort of... It was trying to work off a lot of artifacts, like ditching artifacts in the graveyard. This one actually was vampires, or not vampires. It's kind of a mix between like the vampires and treasures. So it was using the vampire dragon, and it was using like shambling gas. And it was using a few other vampires here. So like this is a tier deck. I've seen it before. And then I believe it was just the Katilda was just so good against that deck. And this was actually Is It Dragons. This was Is It Dragons here, and it just ran it over. I don't think they had a removal spell for my Kami of Transience, and when they did, it wasn't like a big enough removal spell to take care of it, and just ran him over in a few turns. So far so good. Yeah, we'll go ahead and cue this up and see if we can keep our win streak going. And this is all being done in the best of one. Traditional standard. I think I'm 1 win away from going into Diamond. So we'll probably hit Diamond here on this video. But very, very fun deck. There are a lot. I need to do the top 10 cards I want to brew with from Kamigawa, because there's I could probably do top 20 cards. Kamigawa is just a synergy heaven of cards. It just begs you to brew around them. And so I have a lot of cards I do want to play around with. This is an absolutely wonderful hand. We have the farm hand into one of these lands, and then we can just do that's gonna be actually a good card later on. So we need red. We know we're gonna need red, and so we can just go with the Spirited Companion and draw a card. I'm assuming we're going up against mono green that's still keeping the snow cover. This deck got a lot worse without the land. However, they still have the fight card, so we will just throw out the Showdown and go Champion and go ahead and grab a Might. I think we'll grab a Might and see if it gets fought down. That'll be annoying if it does. It's gonna be Tover. So we'll double block here. Yep, we'll double block. We'll trade. The Runeforge needs to go bye, but it's done its job. What the? Okay, my dude. I guess that's a thing. So there are a couple things we could do. We could do tap land and put a Rune of Might on my Runeforge Champion. And then we can actually protect it by giving it mono. Yeah, and then that way Showdown gets like more value. I think I'm okay with that play. Oh, I said tap land. No, tap land's not. No, we don't want tap land. So we want Rune of Might. Oh, that's so beautiful. Now I actually want to go the Kami here. You will go the Kami. We'll do it. So now I am wishing I did the tap land, but I think I will throw it on. I'm actually going to throw it on the Kami, the lifelink, because that way if the Kami dies, then we're fine. And then we're just going to sit back here with the Runeforge Champion, and we have just a great board state. Tovar is definitely a card that could get through. It's just going to be a pack leader, huh? So we're going as Werewolves here. I'm pretty certain we're still going to one for one here, regardless of how my opponent uses their removal spell. So opponent is looking. So you've clicked on everything. Blizzard Brawl. Does give it indestructible. That's annoying. That is super annoying. No block, get a draw card, I guess. Well then. So it was a Blizzard Ball, but we get back our Kami, which is awesome. And do we want to go Showdown this turn? Can I wait a turn? That is the whole thing. And I don't think I want to wait a turn. This time I'll keep up my... Yeah, this time I'll keep up my Shelter. I could be going more aggressive. Some people might be disagreeing of how I'm playing this, because I could have got in there for like 6 damage right now, and like a Showdown could just win the game. But I'm thinking now with the Shelter, the Shelter is going to be super, super potent here, especially if there's like another Blizzard Brawl. And what is it? So we can give it protection from red. Get out of here with your double Blizzard Brawl. And now we basically can block here. Attacks with both of them, I'm definitely going to block here. Block. Oh, wow, that is interesting. That's annoying, actually. So, I have the other Runeforge. Pumps to 5/3, but my Kami doesn't get him insane. And has lifelink, so let's make him pump. Oh my goodness, okay. Gonna find all the pump spells. Gonna draw cards all day long. So Snakeskin Vale, Blizzard Brawl, and an Outlander. That's actually super obnoxious. But do I want to just go Showdown here? Yeah, let's get a Showdown out. Because I think I have to grind my opponent out here. Did find the land. So we have plenty of green, right? Green, green, white, white, white. Actually, green seems better. And I will just Rune of Might on the Kami. We have lifelink going on here. Yeah, possibly I should have made a different block. Should have blocked the Tovlar and the... But next turn, I am having a heyday next turn with this Katilda. So, do I want to just attack in here, get in for some damage, because I could easily lethal next turn? I'm doing it. I am doing it. Yep. So my opponent can just go crazy. Gets to kill my lifelink, or going to kill my rune. Okay, going to kill my lifelink. Should have killed my Showdown, my friend, because we are going to go nuts next turn. I guess can kill sacrifice to kill my Showdown. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have played it that way. So flipping to night, what was up with the flipping right? So I cast 2 spells. Why the hell did it flip? Oh, yeah. Oh, Tovlar can just decide to flip. Okay, so opponent is going to kill the Showdown. But is it going to be enough? Can kill this rune too. Super obnoxious how double death. Do I just have lethal here with the Rune of Speed though? Or the Fury. Do I need to put this... I guess the Katilda is actually pretty bad. I have a Runeforge. I don't have haste, though. So, let's go Runeforge. I don't think I have it this turn. I could actually die still. So, search my graveyard, because we want probably the Sustenance. Maybe the Sustenance was wrong. Yeah, maybe the Sustenance was wrong. Because I could do 6 damage and 6 damage. And then, so, if I would have got a Might, that would have been 8. That was bad. That was bad. I still can win here. I still can win here, but that was a terrible play. Because I'm going to show you why. So, no, yeah. No, it's fine. We're still okay. So we can still go the Rune of Speed. Do I need to go the Rune of Sustenance just in case they block? They block, it goes in, oh, they can kill the lifelink. That goes up to 7. Okay, so it's still lethal no matter what. So the whole idea of this is if the... kills the lifelink. Okay. So I'm going to go in right now and see if there's a block. If there's not a block, the damage is just done. Okay, that does nothing if it's going to go on the rune. Okay, that's fine. So we just have lethal. Yeah, because my opponent got greedy, and now we can just go Fury. Pow! So that is the first, like, well, we had dragons. That was a legit deck. So this deck is still won every game. Goes up to 7-0 with the deck. And that was a very, very, very strong Werewolves hand. 2-drop, 3-drop, 2 kill enchantments. Yeah. And they had Blizzard Brawl, Snakeskin Vale. Yeah, I don't think they could ask for a better hand than that. Maybe a 1-drop, but would the 1-drop have done really anything is the question. So, let's go again. Very, very good matchup. I'm actually excited just to run the mono white version. And so, again, I don't know if we want to actually run more of the Kazuul's Furies in here because it's just a potent card. I mean, Shelter seems pretty good too because it can give you pseudo unblockable versus like mono black. And it can protect your big threats. And I'm thinking the black-white decks can be annoying too because they have a lot of exile. So maybe like the Shelters and stuff could go in here instead of more lands. We could kind of kill our base here. Another extremely good hand. We have Kami into Spirited Companion, or we could actually go double Kami into Spirited Companion. Depends on how greedy we want to get. But it looks like this is our token deck. This is the Blood on the Snow deck, so we have to be quick here. Wedding announcement, yep, here we go. So, yeah. Okay, how greedy do I want to get? How greedy do I want to get? I don't get them back. I think I want to be greedy. Geez, Wedding Announcement actually seems a lot better in this deck, too. The reason I cut Wedding Announcement out of the Mardu deck is it was hard to actually make it work to draw cards. So you just end up with a bunch of 1/1s. And it actually seems super good in this deck, too. Could be your Showdown deck. It could be Showdown instead of Showdown. There's a lot of ways to make this green-white Aura's deck and Enchantment decks legit. Okay. You killed one of them and exiled because this card is so super fair. Yep, Spirit Companion, hopefully draw a card. And he gets to use it next turn, too. Lame. So the stupid Wedding Announcement just gets so much value off the Rite of Oblivion. This card is so strong. Yikes. And it's two cards that want to come back, and I missed my land drop. Otherwise, we would have been able to get a little more. Oy, oy, oy. So I could go, let's just go Runeforge. Go get a Haster. Haster or a... Yeah, let's get a Haster. There's a Sorin. Man, if we'd hit land drops, I think we'd have been fine here. Would have been able to... Still can't hit a land drop. So... Where do we want to go? So now we can just go crazy. And we can actually put these runes like on a plains or something. Hey, yeah, we can't really even attack in. I'm just going to do is tell I hit a... Come on. Just can I hit a land drop? Just a land drop. That's all we care about. Just one little measly land drop. Okay, how about a land drop? I've heard lands are really good. I'm actually going to put this on the Runeforge Champion now, though. I hate giving a target for a... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let's just draw our entire deck without a land. I don't need a rune on anything. This doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Can I hit a land? We cannot hit lands. We are keep a 3-lander and cannot... Whoa, yeah, 10 cards in a row without a land. And finds a Vanishing Verse. Ay, 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 oy vey. Very frustrating. I don't think this would be a match. If I hit it with land drops, we would have gone crazy. We would have gone absolutely crazy here if we would have hit the land drop. But Mimic Massacre seems way weaker. That seems insanely bad. That was a really, really terrible play by my opponent. Can't hit a land, though, so there's that. And can't hit a green source, so there's that. I'm just going to go another... And then we'll just do the Spirited Companion. Land, maybe? Okay, there's a land. And so we can kill... Oh, let's keep the Rune of Might back. I don't think it's... We don't want it out quite yet. Do we need another red for anything? I think we'd rather have a green. Red, blue. Yeah, green is more used. So I have not a clue what my opponent was doing with that Mimic Massacre. Just a weird play. I could cast the Rune of Might and just get value right now, but I think I want to get value off of one of these Kamis coming down. So we'll just, or Showdown. So now I feel like I'm back in this game because that was a weird Meat Hook Massacre. The problem is I'm going to run into a ton of lands now. And we blew a bunch of resources just digging. The cool thing is, though, if we do find another Rune of Haste, I guess we get a Runeforge Champion. We have a potentially lethal Katilda. I mean, very, very strong. Our opponent hasn't hit land drops either. Ain't going to be able to kill with the rune. That's an instant speed. It still cannot hit lands. I'm just frustrated here. We're just doing a showdown because I'm hitting lands. I'm done. I'm done missing land drops. So we did find it. Okay. And we do have a Rune of Speed here, too, on the next turn. Oh, let's cast Rune of Speed now because we have a double Rune of Speed. See if my opponent wants to use it on the Spirited Companion. Didn't think so. We have another Showdown next turn, too, so... Yeah, we know Vanishing Verse is coming down on the Runeforge Champion. Honestly, my opponent should have used it earlier. Can cast back a Rite of Oblivion. Yeah, I might just go another Showdown. And just... Katilda's going to be big. Well, we're cracking Deadly Dispute on the token. That's a desperation. I guess not, though. I guess my opponent does need to try to find like a Blood on the Snow or something. Just going to go the Rite of Oblivion on the Showdown of Skald. Kill the treasure token. Okay, sure. Sure, we're just not getting the counters. So, I think what we're going to do is just do another one. And that one's a bit weaker. Should have played the Kami first, but I guess it's just good not just to not know what's going on. And this way we do have a Showdown next turn again with a Katilda with the Rune of Speed. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. In fact, it's going to hurt my opponent. Which they're still a very healthy. That's actually annoying to kill the... I don't know. Treasure might have been more powerful. Okay, we're going to go for lethal here. I'm pretty sure we can do it. So let's go with this on white. And unfortunately, we don't have a reduction. We have Runeforge Champion that can give a reduction. Or we can go Rune of Speed is not going to help. So can I actually kill my opponent? So... we could go another Transient. I don't think so. I think we're just going to put out Katilda. And then we have a Rune of... well, we actually have a Runeforge Champion. This might be better to do. This has Death Touch, so it doesn't matter. We'll put the +1 counter here. And search my graveyard. Get the Rune of Speed. Throw the Rune of Speed on Katilda. Sure, I think... let's make it harder for the Runeforge, make him pump more. Maybe that wasn't the right play either. Tell us you're going to go on the Kami, sure. I'm okay with that trade. And we can just discard a land. We have a full brick. Our opponent has a full brick. Meat Hook Massacre for 1-2. Can't get up to 7. Kaya is okay. Exile is not on permanent, but we still have lethal. Depending on what my opponent has. And that was pretty decent. Because we have a Rune of Speed. So we can just go Kami. And Rune of Speed. And that's lethal right there. And I think Yeah, we have lethal in so many different ways here. Boom. So that was tier 1. That was the #1 deck right now, is what we just beat. And they can build that version so many different ways with the Stinger, with going the 2/3 Vampire that whenever a creature with power 2 or less enters battlefield, draw a card, which, mind you, is an option for this deck if you were to go into Wedding Announcement. So now we're 8-0 with the deck in the Diamond League. How late is it in this season? I don't know. I haven't been playing a lot of Constructed. We'll play one more here, I believe, and I'll have to tinker around with the sideboard. And again, that mono or the white-green version is something that I definitely will try. Another just beautiful hand, absolutely gorgeous hand. We have the combo right in the hand, so we can go here and then here. Get all our colors out. Beautiful, decent card there. Plains. So mono white, I think we match it very good against as well, but it's not mono white. It's just a Circle of Confinement on our Naturalist, which hurts, but it's fine. Go get a Hasty. Circle of Confinement. What if we're going with another enchantment like deck? Yep, looks like we are going against an enchantment deck. I think I'm just going to run out the Showdown of Skalds here. You know, I'd go Spirited Companion. No, it's going to be Showdown. Hopefully I don't hit more than one land here. But if we do, we... Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Can my opponent actually win? I think I just win next turn. If my opponent taps out, I think I just win. This deck's insane. I am hitting the showdowns. I think a lot of times the Mardu, I go through like 30, 35 cards before I hit my first showdown. And then a showdown would find 3 showdowns. All right, Spirited Companion. So this is going to be very similar to what I'm doing, except they're running like more of a control route with the wedding announcements. Yep. I think they might actually be running, very similar. So my opponent has a lot. Oh, okay. That actually changes everything. So first of all, we know we're going to run this out. We need a green. Green, white, white. Yeah, green's fine. Oh, we could do so many things here. I think we just go for this play. And it doesn't matter where we go from here. Because we're going to give this trample. So we can actually go Rune of Speed on the Naturalist, but this needs to have trample. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Opponent's just going to scoop it up. Yep. All right, that was a fast match. Let's just go on to one more since we're on this. That's 10-0. 10-0 with the deck. It's got to be legit though. If we've won 10-0, this has got to be a legit deck. Right? Maybe not. We're going to get our daily by casting red spells, too. All of our showdowns. If our opponent would have scooped, we would have had 3 more runes on the battlefield. Which would be nice. Yeah, I just definitely would put the rune on the lifelinker, too, because it's one more thing they'd have to block. Yeah, Wedding Announcement actually does seem good in this deck, because I forgot, like, we were adding so many more creatures in this versus the Mardu version. Mardu version was definitely more of a wombo combo. Now, this is much weaker of a hand for sure, because we have tap land, and a bunch of commies. This might have been a mulligan, but it seems strong. So we'll see. We'll see. I need to hit a land this turn, and I wanted an untapped land, but I think I'm just gonna go, this sucks. This really sucks. I feel like the Kami will just die. I feel like we want to hit a land drop. Feels bad. Opponent counters it. We're in bad shape. Come on, land. Never keep a 2-lander. That is my advice for MTGO or MTG Arena, because if you keep a 5-lander, you'll always draw a land. If you keep a 2-lander, you'll never draw land. There's other land. Okay, so that makes it a little bit nicer. We can just attack in. And kind of weird. I'll run out the Runeforge. Gets countered, gets countered. Yeah, that's kind of a bad keep on my part. So we got haste. Definitely want one we can cast. And did not kill the Runeforge. So what is my opponent going to cast? There is like a wombo combo deck where they're trying to put the treasure guy out this turn. And if I draw into a land, I could be in great shape. I cannot draw into a land, though. So what I think what we're going to do is put out a transient here. And my opponent's got to have removal. So what I'm going to do is we are just going to play it safe. I need to draw cards. I need to draw a land. If I draw a land off this, I get more. Okay, kills that. Cool. So we did play it safe, so at least we get to draw a card. Unfortunately, though, womp womp on the lands. Mr. Sadface. Katilda's kind of strong with the Rune of Speed. Dragonfire just wrecks my face now. This is a loss. I think this match is actually pretty easy. This is mainly a loss. No red source still. Mainly lost because we did not hit. Did not hit lands. But, as you can see, we are still in decent shape. Okay, Jazwari's Disruption. Still get a counter, though, because it's a cast trigger. Okay. Okay. 4 mana to play around with. Ay, ay, ay. This deck. It's going to go here. And again, I want to draw a stinking card, so just going to go like this. So if it gets hit in response, we're okay. We're going to have lands galore. That's actually nice, so we can put this on red. And that actually gives us a good little Rune of Speed play. Oh, wow. Yeah, we can actually do very, very well here with... So they're going to try to like Hull Breacher. Still have to draw it. Flashing in a Hull Breacher, huh? Go Katilda. We're still going to go Kami. And Spirited Companion. This just feels kind of bad, but... Feels bad, man. .jpg. Because I still can't draw lands that I need to draw. I guess we got one last turn. I want the Fury. Unfortunately, Mr. Fury, you are coming down as just a land. That sucks, because that could easily been a removal spell. If we get Hull Breacher here... Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot that that's a thing with the Hall of the Storm Giant. That's fine. That was my bad. Dumbest card ever printed. I don't know why they put the big beefy one as blue. It's the only one that's undercosted. So every other land it's like overcosted for its power. So if you animate into their land, they're getting less than whatever you put into. And the Gambit, huh? So this one's just running the Gambit instead of the other take extra turn. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even notice that stupid Hall of the Storm Giant to the side. Not paying attention. See, I wondered when the players were just going to start substituting the Alchemist Gambit. Again, though, the name of the game, though, was missing those land drops. I think that, first of all, it's probably a bad keep. Second of all, if even an untapped land over the tap land, we could Kami out a turn early, it would have definitely pressured my opponent too much. They don't really have a lot of cards left in their hand. Okay, we definitely block. Yeah, pretty bad attack on my part. That attack might cost me too, because I'm just too animated right now. Oh boy, 2 mana. Still didn't hit a land. Ugh. This is so ridiculous. I'm going to go a Showdown. Can I hit lands? Yes, I can. Beautiful. So, Rune of Sustenance is fine. Again, I don't believe I'm going to throw it on a target. I actually might just put out another Kami. Just to... Because the Rune of Sustenance can get value the next turn. Actually, Katilda's strong here. I could lose if... Let's go in for attack. I could definitely lose here. Okay, another Fading Hope. Really? It's going to be another take extra turn? And animate, I die? Ah, yeah, I had perfect mana. So, takes 2 extra turns. Yeah, I'm just dead. I'd just be dead from the Arashi. So, that is game. Had double of the Alchemist Gambit. My opponent literally had to use every resource in there. And we had to stumble. And I probably shouldn't have, I don't know, maybe play that a little bit different. There's our first loss. Let's not go out on a loss. Let's play one more. I played terrible that game. Let's play a little bit tighter. Because, yeah, Kami would have not allowed for an attack, or would have used that. They would have had to use that fading one on the Kami. So that was a terrible, terrible play on my part. Guess I could have played it instead of Showdown, too. I could have just ran out my hand, and that might have done something. But, no, that was definitely my bad. I lost that game. So, not the deck's fault, definitely the player's fault on that particular one. So, we have another just amazing hand here. I might actually just lead off with the Shelter. Rather than play out lands and then just wait for the Shelter to... Yeah, I don't think that... We're going to just lead off with the Shelter. We are a little bit slow, and this is where this mono green deck can beat us, which kind of sucks. We don't have a lifelink card. We don't have a... we could draw one, though, because it's going to be... kind of a weird one. Typically, I like to... Ooh, okay, it's not... It's a stowaway. That's going to get some value, and I can't do anything. I'm going to have to burst out a... I don't want this to flip. So we're just going to put a Rune of Sustenance on... So green is fine here. Or another white's fine. It doesn't... Green, I think, is fine. And we'll do a Rune of Sustenance here. Just so it doesn't flip. Okay. We're hitting tons of lands this game now. So, I wonder what this deck is. It's going to be just Value City, huh? All right. We are in bad shape. Terrible shape. Where were you last turn, my dude? So, I was going to say this is 100% run out Katilda, but now I think it's going to be run out Runeforge Champion. I'm going to be taking a lot of damage and opponent drawing a card. But Runeforge at least allows us to come back into this. So get a haste, because haste is going to be super relevant with Katilda. So again, it depends on what opponent can utilize the cards in hand. If they can't, then we're in great shape. We have a lot of damage coming through. Next turn, the Stormseeker. Drawing 3 cards? Drawing 3 cards and discarding a card. Oh boy. So do I go Katilda next turn? I think I do, rather than... Draw, huh? Could have a Fading Hope too, and that would suck. Could say they're Tovar. Yeah, Katilda seems strong. Put a Rune of Might on Katilda. So we need another white, I think. I guess it doesn't matter how I tap here. I almost feel like putting a Rune of Might on the Runeforge Champion is better, because it gives a blocker and a blocker. And if this gets bounced, I can still get another one back. It does feel better. Okay, I'm in insanely good shape next turn. So let's see. The big news is if my... there's a Fading Hope. Everyone is just running Fading Hope, Fading Hope, Fading Hope. The thing is, I still have it next turn. Can I survive is the question. Does my opponent have enough 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Yeah, this sucks. Oh, haste. Oh, it can just kill. Yeah, that really sucks. That Fading Hope was perfect. So that's lethal. So, good lord. Opponent got the Wombo combo that game. So, don't think I could have played it differently. Maybe I should have just put the Jukai Naturalist out, but I still would have got Fading Hope the turn after. How to get Fading Hope? That was the one card left in hand. They could do it by bouncing. Or if I would put the Rune of Might on a land, then it would have been a 3/3 and I could have blocked and not died. But then I still would have been bad shape. So 0-2 in the Diamond League. Or do we go 1-2 in the Diamond League? And we get this crap again. This is the last hand that I'm going to mull it this time. And this is a little bit better. Put the Showdown. And then let's go for the tap land. We have the... I actually think this one I might go the Jukai Naturalist this turn instead. Nah, we're gonna go for the Kami. Okay, so let's go here. And I think I actually do want to be aggressive. So white is going to be a better color than a red. Yeah. I want to be aggressive. We are going for the aggro. And then next turn, if we draw into a green, we can actually go Jukai and a... Oh, beautiful. That was a beautiful draw. That allows us to go Jukai. And then go Showdown. And I think this time I'm just going to leave the Kami back because I think we have lethal next turn on against our opponent. So I don't want to give them more stuff. We can actually protect too. Maybe I could have attacked in and then I double blocked on Tolvar. That wouldn't have been bad. Attacked in down to 12. Yeah, that probably was a bad non-attack. Because I'm giving my opponent everything to go back into this. Does this sucker have haste? It does not. Man, I guess Aggro is back. Was this the third like Tovalar deck we've played against? And we have Kadam of the West Tree. And a modified. That gives us a land to play around with plus a shelter to play around with. Rather than a shelter here. Let's see what we get first with the Rune of Sustenance. No. Rune's actually worse than the Spirit Companion because we draw into a Runeforge. So I'm actually going to pump up a Naturalist here. Ooh, Katilda's super strong. And we could actually do Katilda, but I think we just want to run out everything in our hand. Yeah. We're going to wait one more turn because I don't feel like I'm in any Oh, that sucks, actually. That really sucks. So, Rune of Sustenance draws a card. Yeah, Rune of Sustenance is better. So we're... Still think we're going to put on the Naturalist. And unfortunately, we lose this Jukai. We do have the Runeforge Champion next turn. I don't see us, like, dying to a... What does Arlen do? Okay, it just gives Flash. Yeah, I'm in beautiful shape. We have the Showdown that's still going to work. Creates 2/2. No reach? Ah, you have reach. Kodama's Westry has reach. So I could go Showdown again. Is Showdown more powerful? Is the question. Rather than Runeforge. Okay, Runeforge. Yeah, and then I think Showdown is more popular or more powerful. So again, I think we will just continue to pump this Naturalist up. Beautiful 2 lands. So still feels like we need white here. So I'm going to go Runeforge. This actually makes us go nuts here. So now, yeah, one more on the 6/6. No, I actually shouldn't have done that. We need a Rune of Might. Use Speed. Yeah, we'll go on the Kami now. This is huge. Yeah, I should have gotten them all on the Kami. I don't know what I was doing. Being silly. Might. Should I go Might on the Jukai, actually? Because it gives more stuff that needs to be blocked. So 6, 7. So actually now, yeah, on the Jukai's fine. Because now my opponent's going to have to block a lot of stuff. Because I'll be attacking in with these two. So, possible block 26 damage. Blocking there, I can still... Yeah, we'll go with these two. I'm not going to do the math here. Opponent's going to lose too many resources just to survive. So 26, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 31 was the life, so if I have an block attack with these two, be fine. I don't know why you're spreading the damage out. You should just block it all in the 10-10. Look, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6. Throw it all on the Naturalist. Then the Transient. Goes to 1, keeps the Kami alive, and I go to 44. I've got a Katilda. Kind of cool card. I didn't even think of the Kodama the Westry. I might need to look into Modified, because this is actually a pretty decent card too. Kodama the Westry. They could go in this mix. Because we are modifying with auras. The thing is, I don't play a lot of basic lands, so you don't get any value out of a... You might like go get get like 1 land or something. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna... That's cool. Kodama... Let's just look at modified real quick. Just the keyword modified. And see what we're missing. Non-token modified creature you control dies, create a 1/1. That's kind of cool. It is an enchantment creature. We have Goro Goro. Creatures gain haste and create a 5/5. I mean, it's okay. We have... If we control a modified creature, does more. let's see. We have attacks, put a +1 counter on a creature you control, then deals X damage, or X is the number of modified creatures. Yay, not too snazzy. No. Something with modified. 5 or more modified creature gains +5 trample. Kadama the West Tree does seem pretty cool, though. Same with Invigorating Springs. Like, what is the card that we're probably not going to run in this? Probably, like, not. I don't know. I don't know what it'd be, but I'm going to add Kadama into the sideboard just as a reminder that, we'll take it out here. A reminder that it could go in here, but I don't know if that is something where it's worthwhile. Yeah, I don't think so. It's like too hard to curve to modify and then get the value out of it. So then the other 2 modified are definitely nothing worthwhile to put in here. The Walking Skyscraper, no, definitely would not want to go in here. Yeah, anyway, I hope you did enjoy this list, though. This was a pretty fun deck to run. Lost 2 matchups. One of them was definitely my fault. So I believe this was more of an X and 1 deck than my terrible misplays. But yeah, sometimes I get kind of antsy and lose games because of not looking at what my opponent has on their board state, hugged in the left-hand corner with an animate land. It is what it is, though. Definitely looking forward to your suggestions in the comment section. Like, more Furies actually do seem super good in this deck. Like, going up to 2 of Shelters and 2 of Fury, and possibly cut, like, I don't know, some lands here, over here. I still do want to run 1 of every basic land because it gives you targets for if they destroy your lands, and you can go get basic lands. Other than that, though, really solid deck. I think it's going to do very, very well. I think it's going to get me Mythic in no time. We just moved up Platinum and into Diamond pretty quick. So, very, very good deck. Hope you enjoyed this video. Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.